People say poverty is just a lack of money. But the truth is far more complex and far more painful. Poverty isn't just a financial state. It's a psychological one. It reshapes the mind, it rewires the brain, and it traps people in cycles that feel absolutely impossible to escape. This isn't just theory for me. This is my story. Growing up, my family struggled constantly. Every single month felt like a battlefield, pitting bills against survival and desperate need against a flicker of hope. I can still see my mother at the kitchen table, staring at a small pile of bills, trying to decide which one to pay and which one to ignore. She was hoping, just praying, that the power company wouldn't cut us off before the next paycheck finally came in. It was a constant, nerve-wracking gamble. Back then, I used to wonder why we couldn't just be smarter with money. That's what everyone on the outside seemed to suggest. It sounded so simple. Why did we always buy the cheap things that would break in a week, instead of saving up for something that would last? Why did we have to borrow money instead of just budgeting better? Why did every single day feel like an emergency, a new fire to put out? It took me years to finally understand the truth. Scarcity destroys your ability to plan for the future. When your brain is completely consumed with the immediate needs of survival, there is absolutely no mental space left for long-term strategy. It's like trying to solve a complex puzzle while your house is on fire. A neuroscientist once said something that I'll never forget. He said, "Poverty taxes the mind. It reduces your cognitive capacity in the same way that going an entire night without sleep does." Think about that. The constant grinding stress of just trying to survive narrows your focus down to this exact moment. Your mind is flooded with urgent questions. How do I get through today? How do I pay this one bill that's due right now? How do I stop everything from completely collapsing around me? When that's your reality, there is no mental room left to think about next month, or next year, or the next decade. Your future shrinks down to the next 24 hours. Scarcity forces you to make what look like bad decisions from the outside. But they aren't bad decisions because people are irresponsible. They're emergency decisions, made because you're trapped. When you're poor, you buy the cheap, low-quality item because you can't afford the better one, even if you know you'll have to replace it soon. You borrow at high interest rates because you can't wait for a better option. The need is now. You might even gamble or buy a lottery ticket because hope itself becomes a form of currency when you have nothing else. You take risks that seem illogical because the safe options simply aren't available to you. And what does society do? It punishes these decisions without ever understanding the conditions that created them. People look from the outside and say, "Just save more money." But how can you save money that isn't there? The math just doesn't work. They say, you just need to work harder. But the poor are often the hardest working people of all, juggling multiple jobs with unstable hours and still not making ends meet. They say, you need more discipline. But true discipline requires a foundation of stability. And poverty is the very definition of chaos. The world fundamentally misunderstands poverty because people think it's a character flaw. It's not. It's about bandwidth. It's about a lack of mental resources. The wealthy have the luxury of mental space to plan for the future. The poor are forced to react to the present. The wealthy invest their resources. The poor simply try to survive with theirs. And the immense weight of that daily survival suffocates potential. It crushes dreams before they can even form. I once asked my mother why she never dreamed bigger, why she never imagined a life beyond just scraping by. She looked at me with these incredibly tired eyes and said, "Dreaming is a luxury. Surviving is not." It wasn't until years later, after I finally managed to escape that cycle, that I understood how profound and devastatingly true those words were. Poverty persists not because people don't try hard enough, but because nearly every system around them is designed, intentionally or not, to keep them exactly where they are. From predatory lending to the lack of access to good education and healthcare, the odds are stacked against you. But here is the most important part of this entire story. Understanding the psychology of scarcity is the first step to breaking its hold on you. Once you recognize that you're in a trap, you can start to figure out how to escape its gravity. You begin to see the patterns. Learn that small, consistent steps matter far more than waiting for some big, miraculous leap. You learn to build simple systems for yourself, because you can't rely on miracles to save you. You learn that discipline isn't about having superhuman motivation. It's about creating protective routines that carry you through the days when you feel exhausted and defeated. You learn that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a strategic move. It's one of the smartest things you can do. And most importantly, you learn that you are not broken. You are not a failure. You are fighting a battle that most people will never ever understand. And the fact that you're still here, still standing, still fighting, that means you're already winning. Poor don't stay poor because they're weak or lazy. They stay poor because society punishes them for using the only survival tools they have. But the moment someone can stop focusing on just surviving long enough to take a single deep breath, that is the moment when everything can begin to change. Spits. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. Thanks for watching.